to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
Oh, I don't know what this thing is. I think it's a strip show, dance show.
Work there, dude.
Welcome to
DeaconLive.
DeaconLive.
Live.
Hell.
Well, that was flop. All right, well, let's try that again, I guess. All right. Welcome back, guys, on today's show. This week in food and restaurants and movies we didn't see coming, or did we? And you may be a certain type of, or you may have a certain type of allergies and don't even know it. And if you want to ban guns, let's start here. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Give us a call anytime at the Queen City studio located just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. A beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. How are you? How are things going? I am doing okay. Actually, I'm doing all right. I'm doing okay. And what I want to do when we first start the program, everything that's been going on out there, arms above your head, big stretch, deep breath, relax. Let's breathe in, let's breathe out, relax, calm down a little bit. And let's just talk. Let's just me and you talk. There's no judgments here. There's no values higher than others. But, let's just me and you talk. It's a one-on-one here. I'm strictly talking to you. And when I say that is because I was going through trying to find topics on today's show. And, I've complained about having, nothing to talk about during the corona because everything's corona. And now, the past couple of weeks, it's all the Black Lives Matter thing has popped up again. Not that there's anything wrong with that or anything, but that's just the way the tide has shifted in the news cycle that is our lives right now. The whole 2020, Jesus Christ, 2020 is maybe it's that called 2020. I say it's called 2020. Maybe all this stuff is happening during 2020 to open up our eyes a little bit to see what's going on. That yes, we can be affected by a disease. Yes, we can be held down by a disease. Yes, there are still racial differences between us. Yes, there are a lot of things in general that we don't acknowledge. We push them aside. We kind of sweep them under the rug. No, if no one sees them under the rug, then they don't exist. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to do anything. They don't exist. And so 2020 is now our vision that we have here. We are now seeing clearly. We're starting to understand. Unfortunately, I hate to say that we're starting to understand, but we are starting to understand where everyone's coming from and who everyone is and what we're doing here on this planet for the most part. But I'm just saying, going through the articles, I couldn't find anything that was happy. It wasn't dealing with, the police department or any kind of shootings or anything. So I'm going to dive a little bit into that. And I promise you, I'm going to try to make the shows light and fluffy because sometimes, I know people out there are trying to escape. I say escape, but just trying to say, hey, I just want to talk to someone. I just want to listen to someone. I just want to hear what's going on that I've missed in the news because I've either pulled myself out of the news feed. I don't want to sit there. A lot of people, retracted their Facebook account. They're saying, nope, I'm done until all this is over. I don't want to see it anymore. I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to discuss it anymore, which is fine. That's why a lot of people come here. So we welcome you with big open arms here on Deacon Live. So like I said, how are you doing? I'm doing okay. Today's my dad's birthday. Yep, called up Dad, good old Dad, called him up. And if you listened to the past couple podcasts ago, my relationships with my parents haven't been really, 100% down like I'm the good son or anything like that. No, I've never done anything to make them upset. I've never done anything. It's just that their ideal, actually my mom's side of the family, their idea of family is totally different than my idea of family. Not that it's that extreme. It's just that when you see other people the way I'm not bringing you down. I'm not bringing you down. Our family was just a little bit different. And then I didn't like it. I'm going to scratch that from the books. But anyways, everything's good. I was loved. I wasn't, only child. Maybe that's it. I'm an only child. But yeah, today's my dad's birthday. I don't know how old he is. I never knew how old he was. Even growing up, I always thought he was 67. Like if I was 10 years old, Dad, you're 67. And you've seen the TV shows and those little, kids say the darndest things. And they, how old is your mom? What is old to you? And they were 40. I was always 67. For some reason, I don't know. Mom and Dad have always been 67 for as long as I've been alive. So they got married at 67. And they're still 67. No, I don't know how old my dad is. And that being said, I don't know how old my mom is. I always do the wedding anniversary, and I've said that before. Oh, this is our blankety blank wedding anniversary, and I always do the math to make sure that my birthday is lower than their anniversary date. So anyway, yep, Pops is he's still working. Yep, still working. I don't want to say he's smart as a whip. He's got a lot of ailments, bad knees, he was in the military. I think he served 4 years, maybe 6 years, between 4 and 6 years. See, I don't even know. Between 4 and 6 years during the Vietnam era. And he didn't really see action. I don't think he went over there, but he did, do all the supporting role that a lot of Americans did during that time here in the United States. And, they do put you through training. They put you through a bunch of stuff. So for 4 years, my dad, did training here. I don't think he left our soil though. That's the only thing. I don't think he ever did. My uncle did. His brother, he actually saw action over there. And to this day, he does not talk about it. He does not talk about anything that he has done over there during that crisis era. But I mean, you always see movies like that. I mean, the whole 80s and 90s were based on movies about the Vietnam era. So I called him up and, wished him happy birthday. He's a courier driver. He's got a big white van, drives it around in the Sunshine State. They live in Claremont, just outside of, I think it's the west side of Orlando. And he drives a courier van. He goes all the way down to Miami, which is about a 4-hour drive. And he goes all the way up to Jacksonville. And we'll talk about Jacksonville here in a little bit, which is another, from Orlando, usually a 3-hour drive, maybe 2.5 hour if he steps on it. And he delivers a lot. He's a courier. He delivers fish to fish markets. He delivers body parts to body markets, all that stuff. But he's still out there. He's making a living. Owned several companies throughout his lifetime. Has no retirement whatsoever. Relied on my mom most of the time to make ends meet. My dad was always in bars. Let's put it that way. He was always in bars and playing pool. And can I borrow? I remember the late night stories of my dad calling my mom at 9 o'clock at night. I'm sitting there as a kid. Where's Dad? Oh, he's out working late with the guys. That was my mom's excuse. And get a phone call, and my dad would ask if he could pull out $100 to put in this game, this pool or whatever. And he'd come home. I remember waking up, 1:30 in the morning, and he'd have a big. You've seen him in the movies. He has a big trophy and a fistful of, $100 bills because he was good. He was really good at what he did in the bars. But outside of that, I don't know if his choices in life were, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything about my dad, which is weird. Anyway, and Father's Day coming up around the corner. I'll probably rehash this again as well. So, yep, today's Dad's birthday. Happy birthday, Dad. Called him up. What are you doing? Working. How are things? Good. You doing all right? Doing all right. And it was pleasant conversation, but we really don't have anything to say to each other. Anyways, I'm going around in circles. So when we come back, I'm going to dive into a little bit of the show. We're going to talk about Jacksonville. They're getting a bunch of, they're going to have a big old party there in Jacksonville. So stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Out. Welcome back to Deacon Live. You just heard Heal My Heart by Mikey Hamptons and the Meows. They are an original alternative rock band, an indie band from New York City. Actually, New York, sorry. Their new release, Okay, I'm Ready to Rock Now, which is influenced by the Beatles and the British Invasion. Okay, I'm Ready to Rock Now is made for those diehard classic rock lovers, as well as younger Oasis, Nirvana, and Green Day, and Foo Fighter fans. Now, younger, I'm an Oasis fan, a Nirvana fan, a Green Day fan. I don't know if I'm younger. Anyways. Check out the full interview if you go to our website at Prophet Radio, Prophet Radio, and that's their new hit single from the album, Okay, I'm Ready to Rock Now. That is Heal My Heart. So, Heal My Heart, my God, Orlando, Central Florida. Let me tell you guys a little something about Central Florida. when people say hurricane, or when people say Florida, they always say hurricanes. You guys get hurricanes. You guys get this, mosquitoes. You guys get, what are the other things? Sinkholes and all that stuff. Well, one thing that Florida does not get is tornadoes. And the reason why is because we're a little crowded. We're really, really dense population. So tornadoes really, really don't have a chance to build up a lot of steam and everything. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch camera angles here. And you guys can go to profitradio.com, click on DeaconLive, and you can see every podcast has a video that goes along with it. And you can see exactly what's on my monitor while I'm talking about it in real time. Now, guys, I want you to see this. This is taken from a good friend of ours, Robert Smith, in the Lake Conway area. This is a tornado that just recently ripped through. Now, it's not like, believe me, it's not like you see like Twister the movie and everything, Category 5. This was a Category 1, though, and it ripped up some shit in Florida. We're not used to 200-mile-an-hour winds or whatever like that. We're used to maybe 100-mile-an-hour winds here in the central Florida, but here we go. This is Robert Smith, and if you're watching this on the video, you can see the size of this tornado going through. So here's the tornado coming through.
Fucking tornado.
Fucking tornado.
Oh my god.
You can see all the palm trees and stuff, and the light, the sunlight is very eerie.
The power's out.
Right here.
The power's out over there.
Tornado. Holy shit.
Now, if you're looking at the map of Orlando, right next to the international airport, there are a chain of lakes called the Conway Chains, and they top 10 lakes in the United States as far as clean, as far as, polluted or anything like that. They're always the top 10 as far as being not number one, but close to being number one in the United States. And so the houses around there are a little bit fancier for Florida, compared to other places. And this tornado came running through there. A little bit of rain you can hear.
Dude, that is fucking shit up, babe.
Right across the lake.
Yeah, so that was a surprise. Woke everyone up. I say woke everyone up. It was the middle of the day, and this tornado came crunching through there in the Central Florida area. And like I said, we're not used to having tornadoes, and I appreciate Robert Smith, good friend of the station here, who posted that video on the Facebook account. Make sure you follow us on all our social networks, and the way you do that is go to profitradio.com, click on social contacts. You can get all our links and all our Instagrams and Twitters and all that stuff, so follow us as well. Now, we're talking about Jacksonville. Now, for those of you, we try not to be a political show. We try not to be a religious show at all. We try to be just kind of a smart, common sense type show. But there are, like I said, I'm looking for news articles, things that might interest you outside of what's going on out there, just to give you a little peace and a little whatever, little comfort. The RNC, whether you're a Trump supporter or not, this is a big deal. Because living here in the Charlotte area, we still can't go to gyms. We still can't have more than, 15% of our occupancy in restaurants and bars. We can't go out as much as we still have to wear masks. We're not as, as strict as like New York or California or anything like that. But we still have, 80% of our businesses are still shut down from this COVID-19 thing. So this is a big deal for us in the Charlotte area or in the North Carolina, because they were going to have the Republican national debate, the whole thing here in the Charlotte area. And because of our governor, Roy Cooper, would not let Trump come to our place because he is he's abiding by the rules set in place by Trump. And then he's taken upon himself to do a little bit more outside of that. So listen to this gentleman here. This is from WSOC TV, talking about moving the RNC from Charlotte to Jacksonville.
Eric, I spoke with her for about 10 minutes here this afternoon.
My name's not Erica, by the way.
Simply time is running out, and they're now making one last plea to Governor Cooper to have the full-scale RNC there in Charlotte, but they know that's not likely.
In less than 3 months, both political parties hope to be celebrating their candidates in grand fashion. Ronna McDaniel leads the Republican National Committee and told me today she's making one last plea to North Carolina's governor to let the convention go without restrictions on size.
I've got 24 hours before I really have to start making decisions, at least. But I want to leave that door open.
The governor's office is not going to change within 24 hours, and you probably know that. So at that point, what do you anticipate happening?
Well, we're still planning on doing the business of the convention in Charlotte, and that's not going to change.
What would change are the big primetime speeches, including for certain the president's speech, but likely the vice president's too. McDaniel said they're now visiting other cities in Georgia, Florida, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and Arizona, hoping to have it decided in the next 10 days.
I'm not going to say which ones are in. Some of them for different reasons aren't going to work, but we have staff all over the country right now looking at different venues.
Does the president?
Said all that. Nothing.
Reasons aren't going to work, but we have staff all over the country right now looking at different venues.
Does the
Other cities in Georgia, Florida, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and Arizona, hoping to have it decided in the next 10 days.
I'm not going to say which ones are in. Some of them for different reasons aren't going to work, but we have staff all over the country right now looking at different venues.
Does the president?
So I know where they're going. Oops. So I know where they're going. They're going to Jacksonville. They're going to Jacksonville, Florida. They're taking all these people, all these, people, the influx of population and stuff, and they're going to Jacksonville, Florida. Now, the reason why I said something about, we're still sitting here waiting for everything to be open. Our bars aren't open. Our gyms aren't open. We have companies, businesses, mom and pop places that are losing their livelihood. They're closing things down left and right. Now, why is this? Why should we care if they go to North Carolina or Florida? Florida's almost completely open, wide open. Here in Carolinas, however, I think they figured out that it almost would have been $55 million worth of influx of money to our community, to our well-being. And maybe these mom and pop places could stay afloat, but no, we are still under the stay-at-home. Bars can only be 15 to 20% occupancy, and it would have. I don't care. I don't care. It would have been the Republican Party. I don't care if it would have been Clown Fest, and 150,000 clowns showed up in like 3 of those little cars, and they all jumped out here in the Carolinas, and they all spent all their money and brought all their families and stuff here. We can't. We're not allowed to have large gatherings of a certain amount of people, and Governor Roy Cooper wasn't going to put himself through all that. Now, granted, for the most part, Donald Trump said, I've lifted the ban on this, and it's all individual. It's all up to the individual governors to whether they want to do what, it's okay to go. Roy Cooper will not. He's still got us locked down, and this money might have saved a lot of people out there that are struggling left and right here. Now, someone else that's struggling left and right. Well, hold on before I continue with that. So now everyone's going down to Jacksonville, Florida, and like I said, I'm a Florida boy. I bleed sand. Cut me open, I bleed sand. I've got a friggin' sunburn if you're watching this on the camera here, I got a sunburn line on my forehead from wearing a stupid hat the other day. Florida is going to have this influx of people. So now how are they going to adjust, with the police present there in Jacksonville? How are they going to, with everything going on, are they going to push against the security? Are they going to push back against the man? Are they going to do anything like that? Now, one city that we're all familiar with that's having a really, really hard time is Chicago. We love Chicago. We're downloaded many times up there. I feel for all you guys up there that are what you're going through. But this week, you're not having a good week either. While Chicago has rolled by with another day of protests and looting, in the wake of George Floyd's murder, 18 people were killed on Sunday, May 31st, making it the single most violent day in Chicago in the last 6 decades, according to the University of Chicago's crime lab. Now, the data only goes back to 1961, so they don't have anything prior to that. Now, listen to this. None of these are related or connected at all. These are just a timeline of people that have passed away. A hardworking father was killed just before 1 a.m. A West Side high school student murdered 2 hours later. So that would put him at 3 a.m. A college freshman who hoped of becoming a correctional officer was gunned down at 4:25 p.m. after getting into an argument in a small little town called Inglewood, just inside the west side of Chicago. From 7 p.m. Friday, May 29th, through 11 p.m. Sunday, May 31st, 25 people were killed in the city, and another 25 were wounded by gunfire. Most homicide victims in Chicago are young black men, and the suspects are also young black men. Both murders had fallen significantly in the recent years, along with police-involved shootings. There were 764 murders and 12 fatal police-involved shootings in 2016, just 4 years ago. Compare that to today, where there was 492 murders and 3 fatal police-involved shootings this past year. So the numbers are getting better, but I mean, it's still bad out there. That Chicago, and they're talking about disbanding or defunding some of the police, and I know they're not doing anything, but when you start taking that away from, how are they supposed to regulate an order, some kind of authority, how are they going to regulate that when you take, one from one hand and give from another? I don't know. I'm just saying, this is what's going on out there. I'm looking at these articles and I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how to help you out through this. I really do. I really wish I could. And one more thing before we take a little break. No. All right, we're going to take a little break. Stick around. We'll be right back. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Lost that whole segment. Had to recreate it. Had to recreate that segment. Yeah, when you saw me... Welcome back to... I gotta switch screens? No, I'm good. I gotta make sure all the microphones and everything are on this time. Welcome back to Deacon Live. This segment is brought to you by Uplift and Inspire Me Too, the number 2. Father's Day is just around the corner, guys, and they have very inspirational shirts just for dad. With only a few days left, you can get your... With only a few days left... Can I get some more louder noises? With only a few days left, Get yours now, starting at $25. Any father would be proud to sport one of these original designs from Uplift and Inspire Me Too. Find their links on our website at www.profitradio.com. You can also search Uplift and Inspire Me and the number 2. Yeah, they got a lot of neat clothing over there. And the company that designs it, they design all the logos, they design all the fonts and everything, and they're really, really inspirational, those shirts right there. So check them out. That's Inspire, Uplift, and Inspire Me and the number 2. And they're available on our website as well. So you're listening to Deacon Live. Give us a call anytime at 407-448-8800. Text us live at any time at the Queen City Studio, located in Charlotte, North Carolina. Actually, a beautiful little town just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, in a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. Hope you guys are doing okay, getting through. I'm not doing it. There goes my headphones. Getting through all this stuff. Now, something I came across here. I have never heard this term before, and I don't know how to define it. But it's a term that describes a certain race of people, and they're not that we're ignorant to it, but they are. This is the term that's been appointed. This is a term that has been attached to basically what's going on today and the way some of us look at each other as far as races and stuff. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to be as gentle as possible to you guys. I really am. So I don't want to discuss it. I say I don't want to discuss it. I don't feel I would deserve it. Give it the credit. God, I'm all over the place. So the first time I'm hearing this is I was reading an article, and you might have heard of this gentleman by the name of Matthew McConaughey, and he is talking to Emmanuel Acho. So I want you to hear this little conversation that the two of these guys had. So, and just get an idea of this new term. I say it's a new term. It's probably been out for a while, but it's just catching headlines right now. It's a certain type of allergies that we as white people have. God, that sounds horrible. But here you go.
Don't feel guilty. Just acknowledge.
Heard. I heard this term the other day, and I'd never heard it before. And I went, what? And talked to this person. He explained it to me. White allergies. White allergies that by where we were raised and how we were raised in our history growing up, there's certain just imported obvious ways that we're prejudiced in ways that we don't even understand. We got white allergies and may not even know it. And so I was sitting there, looking at my own life, and I sit there and I go, all right, now me. Longview High School was over 50% black. I applied to Grambling. I was the first white to ever work at Catfish Station and All Blues, Black Blues Bar on 6th Street.
This is all Matthew McConaughey.
I am married to a non-white immigrant. I have black friends all through my life and still do. But what prejudices may I have via white allergies that I may not even be aware of?
Let me ask you this, actually, since you brought it up, before I respond. Has this situation in our world, or my video, brought out any white allergies that you never saw? Did you have any white allergies that were in your blind spots?
It exposed ways of looking at things in a way that, maybe I didn't see the other side of the coin. As I started off with some of the context you put things in, even very simple things that are like obvious math of, yes, whites and blacks can all have it hard, but whites have never had it harder because of the color of their skin. That's an obvious thing. Now, I maybe realized that, but never looked at that side of the coin.
He's having a hard time explaining it.
And so it's a very simple thing. So maybe there's just more that I would say for me, more that I'm diving deeper into how I'm looking at things and how I'm looking at myself, how I can learn more, see things from your side more, see things from the black side more, so I can just understand, so I can get a 4-dimensional view here, because inherently maybe to some extent, I've been living in a way where I didn't quite see all sides
Let me say
as clear as I could have.
The greatest white allergy that we see played out as black people, practically, one of the greatest, backhanded compliments. Let me tell you what I mean. I went to an affluent high school in Dallas, Texas, St. Mark's. And when I was a kid, they would all say, Acho, you don't even talk like you're black. Or, Acho, you're like an Oreo, black on the outside, white on the inside. Or, you don't even dress like you're black. I didn't realize how offensive that was at the time. It wasn't until I realized, wait a second, you were assuming that black people don't sound educated. You were assuming that to be black, I have to wear a do-rag or a wave cap and be sagging my pants. You are assuming something about black people, and I contradict that assumption. Yes. And as a result, I am not black. And so I think white allergies play themselves out practically in black-handed compliments. Get this one. You're so pretty for a black girl. So that's to imply that being black, I shouldn't be pretty.
It's the for the black girl.
Yes.
For a black man part that becomes the allergy you don't see. Wait, you just gave
So
me
there you go.
indirect.
Basically, the white allergy is what he says. It's for when you say something to a person of color, saying that, you know, for a black person or for a black woman, black male, or whatever like that. We say that, and I've said it a million times. Hey, you know what? For a black guy, you can't dance. And they, you know what? They turn around to me and they say to me, you know, for a white guy, you can't jump. I mean, it's stereotypes that you're putting in there. So there you go. I mean, white allergies is, you're going to hear that probably a lot here, the next buzz term and stuff, white allergies. So I don't know if well, I know for a fact that I'm not subjected to, or I don't have white allergies. Because like I said, I see everyone for exactly who they are and what they are. And I always see this. Anyways, so we were talking about the Chicago and stuff. Hey, newsflash for you, all you friends out there or fans out there, friends or fans of cops and Live PD, they've canceled all their shows. No more because of everything that's going on right now. They don't want any flack. They don't want to portray, and I never saw them portray, race, gender. Now, granted, most of them. I mean, the term wife beater came out because kind of that show. Anytime you saw a white guy on a domestic disturbance call, he was wearing a tank top, hence the term wife beater. So I guess they're pulling those stereotypical shows, and I say it's funny and sad. Cops has been on since 1989, and it used to be followed by what was America's Most Wanted or something, and that left the air around 2011. But yeah, no more Live PD, no more cops. I guess we're just going to do like emergency rescue and stuff like EMT PD or not Live EMT or whatever like that. All right, stick around. We'll get more into the show here, and I guarantee you, we've reached the top of the hump here. Now we're coming back down, and we're going to get into the light and fluffy. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. This segment's brought to you by the Asylum Podcast. Join Marv and Meyer Lansky talking about ignorant shit just like us, giving their views and opinions on every topic that springs into their mind, as well as some serious topics of today. Subscribe to Deacon Live. Subscribe to Asylum Podcast on Apple. Subscribe to the Asylum Podcast. Subscribe to the Asylum Podcast on Apple Podcasts. You can also follow the two hosts on Twitter via the Meyer Lansky, Lanske, and also the Realist Marv on Twitter. You can follow them as well. And they're good friends of the station here, so make sure you give them a listen to, give them a shout out. I'm sure they got something to say about white allergies. I'm sure they got something to say about everything that's going on, and I know they got something to say about what's coming up right now. I turned on my PS4 the other day, and I only get a few days out of the week to sit down and play my PS4. And when I do, I enjoy it. And sometimes I stream it live because I sit there and cuss people out. And you hear all the stuff when you're live streaming. People just being rude, just, F you this and F you that and, punk ass this. And just the language in there sometimes is so horrible during the online gameplay. So I turned it on the other day, and I came across this logo right here. Now, if you're not familiar with this, go to or if you want to see what this looks like, go to prophetradio.com, click on Deacon Live, and for every podcast you hear, there's also a video that you can see in real time. And this right here popped up on my screen. If you're not watching this right now, I'll tell you what it is. It's a huge black screen. It says right in the middle, Black Lives Matter. Right in the center of the screen as the game's loading and everything. Our community is hurting, and systemic inequalities in our community experiences are once again the center stage. Call of Duty and Infinite War stands for equality and inclusion. We stand against racism, injustice our black community endures. Until change happens and Black Lives Matter, we will never truly be a community that we strive to be. Now, right in the middle of the screen is, a huge Black Lives Matter, and below that is a small little statement from Activision. There is no place for racist content in our game. This is an effort that we begin to launch, and we need to do a better job. That's not actually what it says underneath it. Let's see if I can read it. Our community is hurting. I read that. So yeah, that statement that I said, our community is hurting, is actually what's underneath the thing on the game, the loading screen on the game. Now, here's the thing. They are also banning a lot of offensive names and call signs or whatever your usernames. So if you got a username that says Death to Whitey or Death to Blackie or Death to whoever or whatever the case may be, they're also suspending a lot of players with bad names. You got a bad name. I don't like it. They're also working in ways and systems to report foul comments, abusive language, and things like that into the games here shortly. So you're going to see an update on that. Now, I don't know. I mean, I understand the Black Lives Matter and stuff, but can they, in their venue, ban what you say to people, just like I'm talking to you? For example, if we're on a video game and I said, "God damn you cocksucking son of a bitch," which I won't say all that, but I mean, if I get shot, I cuss all the time. God damn it, shit, is that taking away my freedom of speech of saying stuff on the game while we're playing because I'm in their venue? Are they allowed to do that? If someone doesn't, if whatever reason someone complains or reports me because I use foul language because I didn't get the trophy at the end of the game or whatever it is, can they? I mean, they're going to have their hands full. They're going to have to hire another 10,000 people just to filter out these reports and stuff. Reporting different players. And someone else who's filtering out stuff, our very own Bugs Bunny, Elmer Fudd, and Yosemite Sam will no longer have guns. Elmer Fudd will no longer carry a rifle in HBO Max's collection of shorts called Looney Tunes Cartoons. The first short entitled Dynamite Dance has an old school feel of Looney Tunes, but in the video, Bugs Bunny goes after Elmer Fudd. I almost said Elmer Judd. It does say Judd. It does. I thought I was reading it. It says Elmer Judd right here. If you're watching this on the video here, you see it? Elmer Judd. It's Fudd. What was the other guy's name? Judd from 16 Candles with Dynamite. Let's see if we'll play it. Let's see if it'll play without a commercial. So Elmer Fudd's got a sickle. Bugs has got dynamite, puts in his mouth, and his mouth blows up. So he's stacking all the dynamite around Elmer Judd. It's a little, because you know what's going on, that they're not allowed to use guns, they're using a whole shit ton of dynamite. So is that going to make someone, make pipe bombs and stuff and actually follow this? I mean, there was a time where Beavis and Butthead at one time, for you younger people out there, you might not know who Beavis and Butthead are, but us older folks remember them. Anytime he said fire, 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 kids actually were, mimicking him. Life imitates art, and they were setting stuff on fire. So he was not allowed to say, Beavis and Butthead was not allowed to say fire anymore. Fire, 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 yeah, fire. So here we are looking at cartoons, and now they've taken guns away. Now, I don't know if you remember, they also did that in E.T. when they re-digitalized the E.T. of E.T. flying off in the I almost said shopping cart. In the basket of the bicycle, he was flying off into the thing, and they took all the guns out of the movie and digitally replaced them with walkie-talkies. Get back here! And how do you point a walkie-talkie at someone and say, get back here? But yeah, so Elmer Fudd and Yosemite Sam. Now, what was the biggest thing about Yosemite Sam? Was he would get so pissed off he would fire his guns up, and the firing the guns would lift his ass off the ground. I guess no more. I don't know how they're gonna approach that. Maybe he's a gas or something like that. So maybe it'll blow, it'll fly out the ground with gas. Oh my God! You guys like porn? I know. What a segue from cartoons to porn. Oh, so, I never know. I say I never know. You know the main actors in porno. Today's porno is, they're in the business for like, 6 weeks maybe, 5 weeks, the internet and stuff, and the whole porn thing. Remember the good old days of porn when porn actually had like starring this person and starring this person and this and that one. Now, from before the internet became real popular, or right in the cusp of it getting real popular, it spawned, of course, porn. Of course it did. Did you know the difference between Bluray and what was it, HD video, Blu-ray and HD disc was porn. There was more available on Blu-ray than there was the HD disc that came out. That's why it's kind of like Beta and VHS. There was more porn on VHS than there was Betamax. So porn basically delegates all the stuff that gets out there in the public as far as technology. Now, talking technology and porn, in the early days of porn on the internet, you might know this guy by his face. You might not know his name. His name is Nacho Vidal. He was arrested by accidentally killing a photographer with toad venom. Yep, you heard me right. The adult film star is one of 3 people Spanish police arrested in connection with the death of a photographer who died after inhaling psychedelic toad venom. And if you're watching the video here, you know what? I will play some video as reference so you guys can see it. I'm not playing that. But I guess he was a guy. Spanish authorities have arrested porn actor Nacho Vidal on suspicion of involuntary manslaughter after the man died during a ritual involving psychedelic toad venom. The 46-year-old Vidal, whose legal name is Ignacio Horda, how appropriate, is one of 3 people arrested in the connection with the death of the fashion photographer Jose Luis Abad last July in the town of, can you get with the names here? Somewhere in Valencia, according to The Guardian. Authorities have charged Vidal, the porn star, and an unidentified woman and male, because, everyone in and out of porn, with involuntary manslaughter for publicly violating public health laws. Let's see. The frog, also called a Sonoran desert toad or a Colorado River toad, defends itself from its predators by secreting a toxic that contains 5-MeO-DMT, a psychedelic substance that researchers suggest may be a possible treatment for depression, anxiety, according to the Johns Hopkins magazine, or death. So, in 2016 video, the actor reportedly says that toxin's strong effect helps him reconnect with his soul after plowing through however many women and with the earth and Mother Nature is what he says. So, I guess he does this religiously, and in the process, he killed this one guy. I love this little side note. Vidal has appeared in more than 732 adult movies since starting his porn career, not his porn rear. Well, his rear was in it too. His porn career in 1997. So there you go. And that's based on the IAFD, the International Internet Adult Film Database. So there you go. Vidal, Nacho Vidal. I love that name. What is your porn name? Nacho Vidal. All right. Full of cheese. There you go. All right, I'm going to take one more last break. Maybe one more after that one. We'll see. Stick around. You listen to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. You just heard the newest song from Young Sammy. That is called Been Askin'. And you can find Young Sammy on all your social networks. Let me spell it out for you. It's Young, YHUNG .Sammy, SAMMY, on all your social networks and stuff. He's got a YouTube channel out there. It sounds great. I mean, I like his videos and stuff. They're very, very well produced. He's also available on iTunes, Instagram, and Spotify. That is Young Sammy, YUNG .Sammy, and he's all the way from Hayward, California. So we got some friends over there on the West Coast, and we appreciate you. Like the song. He's got a lot more videos out there, so make sure you follow those as well. And, sometimes you're trying to get your, struggling artists and stuff, and we appreciate all you artists out there that reach out to us and want to get your music played here on our show. We love hearing everything from pop to country to rock to hip hop to everything in between. But another avenue that I came across is something called the Prison Kiosk. Are you familiar with that? And it works in collaboration with Jpay. Now, if you're not familiar with Jpay, Jpay essentially is you have people that have been incarcerated, and they actually have a digital account, and you can add money to their account, and it's all done through Jpay, kind of like the PayPal version of prison inmates. Now, for those of you out there that are struggling artists and musicians, and you want to get your music to, I don't want to say to an audience that's not going anywhere, but I mean, for the most part, you can get your music to an audience that you have completely captured their attention. And it's called the Prison Kiosk. And here's a small little video to let you know. I'm laughing because it's so funny. They're talking, it's a serious subject. People are incarcerated, and they have these little tablets and stuff that you can add money and stuff to, and they can have MP3 players, and it's I don't know the ins and out to it, but this is how to sell your money sell your songs and get them heard in the prison system. And this is prisonkiosk.com through the Jpay, I'm going to say JPAL, Jpay app.
Your music is available on iTunes, Spotify, and all the most popular download and streaming sites worldwide. You're still losing out on sales. There are about 2,300,000 inmates in the United States.
See how happy she is when she says that? Isn't that something? She's so happy. Let me switch cameras again. I'm gonna start that little segment over. She's so happy.
Sales. There are about 2,300,000 inmates in the United States that buy and consume music every day without any access to the internet. So how do you make your music available to them? The answer is the Prison Music Kiosk. But submitting your music...
They gotta come up with a better name than the Prison Music Kiosk. I mean, I understand how it works. It looks like, remember when you had AT&T and the cell phones and some of the kiosks when you had to go in there and pay your bills, or it's got a little touch screen on it, a little, 4 foot tall, maybe a foot by 2 foot wide. Yeah.
To the Prison Kiosk can be a very long and stressful process, especially if you don't know where to start. But no worries. Here at MazarTV.com, we're here to help. We'll assist you step by step on how to submit your first release successfully. Once your music is submitted, inmates will have the ability to purchase and download it through the Prison Kiosk installed in their common space areas. Our goal is to show you how the...
So, in my opinion, this is the equivalent of the old school guys used to selling like records and tapes and CDs and stuff out of the trunk of their car in less influential neighborhoods. Like you couldn't do that in, like where... Bill Gates lives, but you can do it in your own little inner communities.
Process works, so you can be on your own with your future releases. Our downloadable PDF guide has helped hundreds of artists in submitting their music to
I'm
the
just
kiosk.
laughing at the video.
Yours can be
Here's a
next.
white girl just like going, yeah, oh yeah, and it's a cartoon and stuff. So there you
Still
go.
undecided? No problem. Call our customer service and speak with a real person. Our service is 100% guaranteed. Just follow our easy step-by-step process. Ready to move forward? Great! Visit our website to download our instruction guide.
So to download the instruction guide, by the way, is it costs you $300. It costs you $300 to download the PDF file, and then it shows you step by step on how to get your music uploaded to the prison kiosk, and then everyone can download it. I think it's set at 70 cents. Excuse me, 70 cents per song, and 7 cents per album, or $7 per album. So there you go. I don't know if you guys knew that was going on out there. There you go. If you're a struggling artist or musician and you got a couple $100 to spare, I was reading some articles about it, and ended up being one guy paid almost like $1,200 because it's like it goes regional. Oh, you want it in this side of town, or you want it in this side of town? You want it on this side of town, or you want it on this side of town? He ended up paying like $1,200, and I don't know what the results were, but yeah, He's got his songs and music and stuff on Jpay. All right, stick around. We'll talk about a couple more things and then wrap up the show. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Give us a call anytime at the station at 407-448-8800. Text us live at any time in the Queen City studio located just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, in a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. And make sure you follow us on all our social networks. And the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio, and click on Deacon Live. And for every podcast you hear, you can also watch every podcast. We have a video that goes in tandem with every podcast. You can see everything that we're talking about here live on the air and on my monitor and stuff. When we're talking about articles like, look at this, look at this. Look, and speaking of looking at my hair, my wife cut my hair and I haven't done anything with it. And I look like Simple Jack from Tropic Thunder. My eyes, Wayne. So my hair, I haven't done anything with it today. I know, the luxury of doing a podcast without an audience in front of you, or a producer, or anyone around you. And speaking of movies and producers, there's a couple movies out there that are coming soon, or are they? And I want you guys to listen to this or watch these videos. Some of them could be good, some of them could be it's debatable. But here we go. This is the first one. Everyone knows about this one. I hope so. I hope it's going to be good. Please let it be good. That's all I ask, because there's a lot of remakes and stuff that just completely flop. So here we go. This is the first one.
Years ago, you played a concert in front of the entire world. 1 month ago, you played in Barstow, California for 40 people, most of whom were there for $2 taco night. Bill and Ted, what have you got to say for yourselves?
Be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes.
You were supposed to unite the world and save reality as we know it.
Bill, we've spent our whole life trying to write the song that will reunite the world. Why can't we just go to the future when we have written it?
Whoa! And take it from ourselves.
But isn't that stealing?
How is that stealing if we're stealing it from ourselves, dude?
No way!
How'd you like our song?
It's a little on the dark side, but that's cool.
So that's a new Bill and Ted movie. Oh, I'm sorry. Bill and Ted Face the Music. That's coming this summer, 2020. And I guess they found a way to produce it and put it all back together and stuff, because I guess the film was shot, and of course it takes like 2 years to edit it down and do all that stuff. So they were able to finish it up with the whole, everyone staying at home and the whole COVID-19 thing. So there you go. Bill and Ted Face the Music coming out hopefully this summer. Hopefully. It doesn't look too bad. Keanu's a little aware. I had a friend of ours on the Facebook page said, I'm not ready to see, John Wick turn into an idiot again. Not again, but you know what I mean. Now, here's another movie coming out or is it? It should be interesting. If they did it, it would be pretty cool. I don't know. This might be the last hurrah if these two guys can get together and do this movie. And it's this one right here.
Great Scott! What year is this?
15 years in the making. The future is back.
Mysterious glowing. Object arrives on front doorstep. Messenger not sighted.
Please, Mark!
So power up your laces. Grab your hoverboard. It's about to get heavy.
Shoes! I need shoes!
So Back to the Future
Back to the Future, Part 4.
So it's Part 4. I don't know if it's going to... This says Lindsay Lohan's in it and a couple other people. I hope this does, and I hope if it comes out... Robert Zemeckis said, we're not going to do it. No, we're not doing that. So someone might take the reins from him and rewrite it and stuff. But it looks cool. I mean, because you want to relive your childhood. You want to relive. And I like the first three because you always look to see if things have changed. Like one prime example is in the beginning of Part 1, you see the clock tower. And then, of course, Doc falls. I'm not spoiling anything. And then, of course, Doc falls off the clock tower and he breaks the concrete there. And at the end of the movie, when they do the big pan back and everyone's celebrating, you can see where they fix. You can see the patchwork from where Doc fell in the past and the future and stuff. It was fun. It looks fun. I hope they do it. I hope they do it. You know what else is fun? They're going to hopefully start opening up restaurants here in the not too distant future. And when they do, there's a couple new restaurants out there, new old restaurants that have kind of changed their format and stuff. And then this new food that's coming out, I hope you guys, I'm all excited about it. And we'll get into that here in just 1 second, then wrap up the show and let you get back to what you got to do. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. With some of the bans being lifted in a lot of our communities and states and stuff, a lot of restaurants, unfortunately, have failed. The old Chuck E. Cheese is shutting down all 610 of their locations. And but no fear. I know everyone says, oh, they had the best pizza. They had the best pizza at Chuck E. Cheese. But if you look on your Grubhub app, here's a little insider for you. If you look on your Grubhub app and it says Pasquale's and wings from Grubhub, if you click on that and get whatever large, what's a Pasquale's? It's actually the Chuck E. Cheese pizza. So if you got that on your Grubhub app, look for them and you can still get Chuck E. Cheese pizza delivered at home because they did make good pizza. They had to have good wine and good beer for the adults, and they had to have good pizza for the adults, and the kids don't care. You can put ketchup and cheese on a piece of toast and be like, I love Chuck E. Cheese. But Pasquale's and Pasquale's or something like that, and wings. I know I was reading the article while I was looking at this on your Grubhub app. Now, here's the thing. You ready for this? Cracker Barrel, long family-owned tradition. The old country store, Cracker Barrel, is now selling alcohol for the first time in some of its Florida. Sorry, everyone out there. some of its Florida restaurants. 20 Florida restaurants have begun used as a test market for alcohol sales. Now, don't forget, not too long ago, Taco Bell started opening up the cantinas, Taco Bell cantinas, where you're allowed to have like mixed drinks and margaritas. I mean, one goes in hand with the other. You know, Taco Tuesday and all that stuff, but most of them are around like the university areas and stuff. But as Cracker Barrel reopens its dining rooms, the restaurant is looking to make some pretty big changes, which it had planned on prior to the coronavirus pandemic. The restaurant chain announces it will be testing alcohol in its menu, including beer, wine, and hard ciders, and orange and strawberry mimosas for 20 of its Florida restaurants, according to Restaurant Business. Now, let me tell you something about that. I don't know if that's going to be a good idea. In my opinion, like, here's a prime example. Sonny's. I like Sonny's. I love Sonny's. They had the curly steak fries. They had the barbecue beans, which I could eat all day. I even said to myself, if I ever won the lottery, not now, it's about 10 years ago because they fucked up the menu now, I would buy my own Sonny's just to eat there. The smoked chicken, the smoked ribs, all the smoked pork, the pulled pork, all that stuff was delicious. But then they started introducing like beer and stuff. Now, I know when I drink beer, I don't want to sit there with a plate full of of chicken and stuff. I will waddle myself out of there if I have like 2 of the beers and then, you know, all the accoutrements that Sonny's has to offer. I don't think those two go together. Now, if you're at a backyard barbecue, by all means, yes, Tom, I'll have some of your ribs or something, you know, okay, delicious, give me another beer type thing. But Cracker Barrel's kind of doing the same thing. They've got so much starch on that plate that'll straighten out your the collar on your t-shirt for days. I mean, it comes with potatoes, it comes with corn fritters, it comes with bread or rolls on the side or something like that. Everything on that plate is starch. Corn, peas, carrots, potatoes, and then meat. Country fried steak for me, thank you very much. But for the most part, it's all starch on the plate. That's the last thing I want to do is drink an ice cold beer. I'm not going to eat all this stuff. I'll drink a couple beers and that's it. But Cracker Barrel right now, in addition to alcohol sales, Cracker Barrel is reducing its menu and developing a digital store offering food and retail items, says the Restaurant Business reported. So there you go. Cracker Barrel is now having beer and alcohol or wine selling in their restaurants. You know, one thing, like late at night, I say late at night, one thing that I've always wanted or always have, I like to have everyone likes to have a little snack, a little treat before you go to bed. Mine is always like some kind of cupcake or anything chocolate with a icing on it, and then a big glass of white, I say white milk, and there's chocolate milk and white milk. White milk, whole milk if we can find it, and my cupcake, and I'll drink the whole glass of milk at once I'm all done, and good night to Bongo, or whatever the name of that movie is. This company here, Turner, hold on, let me read this to you. Turner Dairy Farms, located in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, has now come out with, and if you're watching this on the DeaconLive Under the Tent video, hi, I'm waving to you, has now come out and created a peanut butter milk. That's right. If you don't see it, ask your store manager to bring it in. It does not contain peanuts. It has artificial peanut flavoring. They are a nut-free facility. So now, Turner Farms, limited edition chocolate peanut butter milk, vitamin D whole milk. There you go, a little half gallon right there. And I don't know how much that's going to cost, but I kind of like the chocolate peanut butter milk. My wife hates it when I do cereal and then I drink all the cereal milk when it's all done. She's like, how can you drink that? It's so sweet. I'm like that's why I put I don't need the cereal. If I could just have the cereal milk, I'll be fine. And I know they make that out there as well. Now, after a long day of being out, after a long night of partying, after going to Cracker Barrel and getting getting shit-faced, eating their corn fritters and drinking chocolate milk on the way home, there's one restaurant that everyone usually ends up at, and that is this place right here. And one of the world famous. He has recently passed away. Anthony Bourdain has now revealed that this restaurant here, one of the greasiest spoons in the world. In Florida, it's a big joke. We know that if a hurricane's going to be bad, this restaurant starts closing down. This restaurant hardly ever closes down for anything. And that is the Waffle House. And when I say the Waffle House, people make fun of it left and right. People call it the Awful House. People call it numerous names. But Anthony Bourdain actually sat down in a Waffle House and shot this little movie clip right here. And I want you to listen to the words that are being said, because I think maybe the Waffle House is our Mecca, where we all need to gather as one at this location. And here we go.
One choice for late night eating, and it's the Waffle House. And they create this environment where no matter how blitzed you are or how normal you are welcome and treated equally with an experience. It's not just like, eating a plate of food.
You're talking about like a magical spiritual place.
It's beyond a magical spiritual place.
It is indeed marvelous. An irony-free zone where everything is beautiful and nothing hurts. Where everybody, regardless of race, creed, color, or degree of inebriation, is welcomed. Its warm yellow glow, a beacon of hope and salvation, inviting the hungry, the lost, the seriously hammered, all across the South to come inside. A place of safety and nourishment. It never closes. It is always faithful, always there for you.
So there you go. That's the Waffle House, and it is. I mean, it really is. No matter what time of day, no matter who you are, what state of inebriation you are in, they always have 100% customer service. They treat you like you're one of the family, like you're just a human in general. So that's the Waffle House, and they're mostly located, like I said, down here in the South, and it's a good experience. That might be our Mecca as far as everyone getting together. Everyone says go to church and pray. Everyone go to this concrete statue and think about stuff and tip that concrete statue and do all that stuff. Fuck that. Let's all just go to the Waffle House, join together, everyone sit down. And if Waffle House wants to make a name for themselves, they should bring their message that they do on it. They might not even know it's a message. Bring their message, what they do every day, and spread it across our nation and everything that we're getting into right now. Maybe that's our answer. Sit down, food brings people together, and I think Waffle House is the one to do it. For being part of the show, and all you guys can be part of the show as well, email me at deacon@prophetradio.com. On behalf of all our listeners out there, I'd like to thank each and every one of you. My name is the Deacon saying goodnight. And goodnight.
Oh no. Wait. Come back.
This is the end. The absolute end.
Écoute-moi.
See you guys. Thank you.